As we age, maintaining mobility becomes one of the most crucial aspects of preserving independence and quality of life. Yet, many people unknowingly neglect the one essential movement that determines whether they'll remain active and self-sufficient or struggle with everyday tasks. That movement? The ability to stand up from a seated position. Also known as the sit-to-stand movement, this fundamental action is the foundation of mobility, allowing us to get out of chairs, beds, cars, and even off the toilet. Unfortunately, if you don't actively work to maintain this movement, you risk losing it entirely, leading to increased fall risk, dependence on caregivers, and a drastically reduced ability to move freely. But here's the good news: you can protect this movement and even regain lost strength with the right approach. This video will show you why the sit-to-stand movement is so important, how to strengthen the muscles involved, and how to ensure you maintain mobility for years to come. Why the sit-to-stand movement is the key to mobility. The ability to stand up from a seated position might seem simple, but it actually requires a coordinated effort from multiple muscle groups, including the quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, core, and lower back. These muscles work together to provide the power and stability needed to lift the body against gravity. Over time, however, age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia, and reduced joint flexibility can make this movement more difficult. Studies show that older adults who struggle to stand from a chair are at a significantly higher risk of falls, fractures, and mobility loss. A decline in this ability is often a predictor of future disability. The worse your sit-to-stand ability, the more likely you are to rely on canes, walkers, or wheelchairs in the future. This is why protecting and strengthening this movement is critical, not just for mobility, but for overall independence. The science behind muscle loss and mobility decline. Starting around age 30, we begin losing 3 to 5% of muscle mass per decade, and this loss accelerates after 50. By the time we reach 70, many people have lost up to 30% of their muscle strength, unless they take active steps to prevent it. This decline makes simple movements, such as getting up from a chair, progressively harder. If left unaddressed, this leads to a downward spiral. Less movement leads to more weakness, which leads to even less movement. This vicious cycle is one of the biggest reasons older adults lose their mobility. However, research has shown that strength training and functional exercises can dramatically slow or even reverse muscle loss. The key is to regularly challenge the muscles involved in the sit-to-stand movement so they remain strong, flexible, and capable of supporting the body's weight. How to protect and strengthen the sit-to-stand movement. The best way to maintain this movement is by performing targeted strength exercises that mimic the action of standing up from a seated position. The most effective of these exercises is the chair squat sit-to-stand exercise, which directly strengthens the muscles used in daily life. How to perform the sit-to-stand exercise correctly. 1. Start seated. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Keep your back straight. 2. Engage your core. Tighten your abdominal muscles for stability. 3. Push through your heels. Lean slightly forward and use your legs, not just your arms, to stand up. 4. Stand tall. Fully extend your knees and squeeze your glutes at the top. 5. Lower back down slowly. Control your descent to avoid plopping back into the chair. 6. Repeat. Perform 10 to 15 repetitions, aiming for 3 sets per day. To make it easier, use a higher chair or use your arms for support. To make it harder, try holding weights or slowing down the movement. The role of flexibility and balance in mobility. Strength alone isn't enough. You also need flexibility and balance to maintain mobility. Tight hip flexors and stiff joints can make the sit-to-stand movement more difficult, while poor balance increases the risk of falls. To address these issues, stretch your hip flexors and hamstrings daily to improve flexibility. Perform balance exercises, such as standing on one foot or walking heel to toe, to enhance stability. Engage in mobility drills, like seated knee lifts and gentle squats, to keep joints flexible. Improving flexibility and balance will make it easier to perform the sit-to-stand movement and reduce the risk of falls. How sit-to-stand ability predicts longevity. Multiple studies have found that the ability to perform a sit-to-stand movement is a strong predictor of overall longevity and quality of life. Research published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology showed that individuals who struggle to rise from a seated position without assistance are at a higher risk of premature death. This is because mobility loss is often linked to serious health issues, such as cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, and cognitive decline. By regularly practicing this movement and keeping your lower body strong, you increase your chances of staying mobile, independent, and active well into old age. How to incorporate sit-to-stand training into daily life. The best part about the sit-to-stand exercise is that you can integrate it into your daily routine without needing a gym or special equipment. Here's how. Do it while watching television. Stand up and sit down during commercial breaks. Make it part of your morning routine. Do 10 repetitions before breakfast. Use it as a break from sitting. If you've been sitting for 30 minutes, do a quick set of sit-to-stands. Incorporate it into other activities. Try adding it to your stretching or warm-up routine. By making this movement a habit, you'll naturally improve your strength and mobility without feeling like you're doing an intense workout. The connection between nutrition and mobility. Exercise is only one part of maintaining mobility. The other crucial factor is nutrition. To support muscle strength and function, prioritize protein. Include lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, and legumes in your diet. Get enough vitamin D and calcium. These nutrients help maintain bone strength and reduce the risk of fractures. Stay hydrated. Dehydration can lead to muscle cramps and joint stiffness. Eat anti-inflammatory foods. Salmon, nuts, leafy greens, and berries help reduce joint pain and inflammation. A diet rich in these nutrients supports muscle recovery, reduces joint pain, and helps maintain overall mobility. Overcoming common challenges to mobility training. Many people avoid strength training because they think it's too difficult or believe they're too old to start. However, studies show that even individuals in their 80s and 90s can build strength with consistent training. If pain or stiffness makes it difficult to perform the sit-to-stand movement, start with a higher chair. This reduces strain on the knees. Use your arms for assistance. Gradually reduce reliance on them over time. Take breaks as needed. Even small amounts of movement are better than none. Stay consistent. Improvement happens over weeks, not overnight. By overcoming these challenges, you'll be able to restore and maintain mobility for years to come. Protect your mobility before it's too late. Losing the ability to stand up from a chair is one of the biggest warning signs of declining mobility, and once it's lost, regaining it becomes much harder. The good news is that you can protect this movement and even regain lost strength with consistent training. By incorporating the sit-to-stand exercise into your daily routine, improving flexibility and balance, and maintaining proper nutrition, you can stay mobile, independent, and active for life. Don't wait until mobility problems arise. Start today and secure your future strength and independence.